Hello and welcome to part 5 of Project Covert. So you might see that there is a lot has changed since last time, and one of the things is it now looks quite a bit prettier. There's sort of there's shading, there's this water, there's materials and graphics and stuff like that. So we've actually got a little bit of prettiness going on rather than what we had before. Another thing that's a big change is that before we were using all these fluffy happy graphics, which is what I said my original plan was for this game, but now I've decided I want to go for a bit less of a linear game pattern, sort of Angry Birds level 1, 2, 3, and more of an exploration, infiltration sort of game. So with an actual storyline, which I've started working on. So a lot has changed in every single possible way since the last devlog. And it's only been a week since then, so yeah, it shows how much can change so quickly. So I'm now using Git for versioning on this. So what's handy is as I make changes, I can commit my updates, and then I push them to an online server, and then whatever computer I'm on, I can download and start working on it, and then re-upload that commit, and then download it from anywhere else. So I've got a bit more flexibility. Also, it's naturally versioning my work, and also, when you make a commit in Git, you put a message along with it as well to say, this was the changes I just made. So now I've got a lovely long list of changes that I made since the last devlog. So that is really handy. I'm just going to very briefly go over them, and then I'm going to actually show you some of the game and what has changed. So firstly, I've added gizmos. So you see, like here, there's this little red box, and over there is over some here on this side here is a little yellow box that you can't see right now because you only see it in this editor window on the top half of the screen. And they're basically just little gizmos, so I can add elements to the level, like this is the starting position. When you get here, something will happen, or it will switch to another level, or whatever like that. And it renders them. It draws that area in the editor window. So that makes life just a bit easier to build the game. What else have I got here? Endrec fix. Item icon code changes, collectibles now destroy properly. That was not a really big one. Item selector shows inventory to the left and right of the currently selected item. So you see here where my mouse is, you've got the currently selected item in the middle, and then on the left and right you've got what item would come up left and what item would come up right if you was to switch in that direction. That was something I spoke about in the last one, and I thought, yeah, I'd actually get that done. So that's handy. Level 1 parts added. So I'd started to add, I created the level in Blender, and then I imported it in. Right, okay, so a few of these are just complete re-scripting of things. So I'll explain a bit more of this as I go along, and I'll actually press play and show you some of this. So here we go. So now fading works. It fades in. Got this nice little puff. The camera flips around here. You notice we've got lovely water effects. You see it in the top hand screen and the bottom hand screen. We've got a nice, I just in Photoshop quickly made a like this night background, which has this sort of purple hue at the bottom, and it fades to black. Then you've got loads of different sort of opacity stars which are reflecting in the water, and it all looks really, really pretty, so I like that. So this level was made in Blender. You can see the stars there a bit better. And then all the lighting and that sort of thing is done in Unity. So you notice the camera angles change. I love this sort of camera angle where it's not directly following the player. So that is something else that changed. You have the camera, and I'll just quickly show you. If I click on the camera here, you see we've got an offset. So an offset from the player. So it's -17 to the X position of the player, +6 on the Y, and then so on. So that's the positioning of the camera. But then you've also got the look offset, which says how far away from the player to sort of look. So if the player's here and the camera's up here, I can tell the camera to not directly look at the player, but I can tell it to look to the right or to the left or in a slightly different direction. As I said at first, the offset is -17 to the player. I just realised it's not. In this situation, the cam type is actually static. So it's got unique, static, fixed target, and lerp to fixed target. So static just means the camera is now fixed in -17, 6 and -19. Whereas if I said fixed target, then it would actually position itself based on where the player is. And then lerp to fixed target just means that it's going to lerp between them two vector 3 points. It's just going to move to that other position rather than just snapping straight to it. So that's the camera. Swimming. So now I'm not actually walking on a floor. There is something that detects that he's in the water, and he's sort of swimming along, and it makes his movement less quick. So he's slowed down because he's in the water. So obviously he'd have a swimming animation, but that's not done yet. What else have we got? Oh yeah, the player movement and direction script has been completely re-scripted, as has the camera. That's actually been built from the ground up again. So yeah, many changes there. Night water and lighting. Okay, so yeah, originally I had a sort of daylight water rather than nighttime water, and it didn't look as good. So now it's nighttime, it reflects, and it's really nice. Then the other thing is the fading. So now, as I walk off here, I've got something called a level collision area. So you see on this top half of the screen, you've got this sort of red box. When the player walks into that zone, I can make as many of these red collision boxes as I want, and if the player goes in there, I can call a function. So you see I click here and it says collision areas. There's only one of these at the moment, which is that red box that you see, and it's got that position, and it calls a function switch level, and it passes it the parameter, the level that you want it to go to. So this is completely custom made. This isn't anything to do with Unity as far as that goes. It's just purely going to call that switch level function, which is a real method attached to the custom level script, and then it passes it the level that you want it to go to. So hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, as I walk into it, you watch, it's gonna fade out the level, and then it's gonna go back to this level again, because there isn't any other level to go to at the moment. So if there was, obviously it would switch between levels, and it gives me a bit of control when jumping between levels. So yeah, that is pretty much everything. There's been a heck of a lot of changes. I hope that you're enjoying these videos. If you've got any ideas or questions, please leave it in the comments below. If you'd like more videos, then subscribe and please like it. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next devlog.